Commander Sarah Mitchell's hands trembled as she adjusted the focus on her helmet's visor display. The object before them defied every law of physics she had learned in her 20-year career with NASA. Suspended 3 meters above the lunar surface, the alien vessel rotated slowly, its crystalline structure seeming to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Mission Control, we have a situation at coordinates 23.7 north, 15.6 east, she transmitted, her voice barely steady. The anomaly is approximately 50 meters in diameter and appears to be. Dr. James Reeves, the mission's xenobiologist, approached the craft with scientific instruments that had begun behaving erratically the moment they entered the object's vicinity. His electromagnetic scanner displayed readings that oscillated between impossible values, negative mass, temperatures below absolute zero, and energy signatures that seemed to exist before they were measured. "Sarah, look at this," Reeves whispered through the comm system. His voice carried a note of wonder mixed with growing unease. "The spectrometer is showing elements that don't exist on our periodic table. Not just unknown impossible. Element 347, with stable isotopes that should collapse instantly." The ship itself seemed to respond to their observation. As Mitchell focused her attention on its hull, the material shifted from translucent crystal to what appeared to be liquid metal, then to something that her mind refused to categorize. It was as if the vessel existed in a state of quantum superposition, all possible forms existing simultaneously until observed. Specialist Rodriguez, their mission engineer, had been documenting everything with his camera equipment, but when he reviewed the footage, his face went pale behind his visor. "Commander, you need to see this. The timestamp. It's recording events that haven't happened yet." Mitchell moved to look at Rodriguez's display screen. The footage showed their team approaching the craft, but the timestamp indicated it was recorded 14 minutes in the future. More disturbing still, the video showed Mitchell reaching out to touch the vessel's surface, something she had not yet done and had no intention of doing. "That's impossible," she murmured, but even as she spoke, she felt an inexplicable compulsion to extend her gloved hand toward the alien hull. Dr. Reeves had set up his atmospheric sampling equipment in a wide circle around the craft. The results were sending chills through his enhanced suit systems. "The air composition here. It's not vacuum anymore. We're reading an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere, but that's not the strangest part. The atmospheric pressure is fluctuating between Earth normal and complete vacuum every 3.7 seconds, but we're not experiencing any effects. They should have been dying from explosive decompression, but their bodies seemed to exist in a pocket of stable environment that moved with them." The craft was rewriting local reality to accommodate their presence. Mission Control's voice crackled through their communications with increasing urgency. "Artemis 7, your telemetry is showing impossible readings. Your location indicators are placing you simultaneously on the lunar surface and in Earth orbit. Please confirm your actual position." Mitchell looked up at the Earth, clearly visible in the black sky above them, then down at the lunar dust beneath her boots. "We're on the lunar surface, Control." But she paused, realizing that when she looked at Earth, she could see their lunar lander in Earth's atmosphere, as if they existed in both places at once. Rodriguez had been documenting the craft's geometric properties when his instruments began registering measurements that hurt to contemplate. "The vessel's internal volume is larger than its external dimensions," he reported, his voice strained. "Significantly larger. The surface area calculations suggest the interior space is roughly the size of Manhattan." Dr. Reeves approached what appeared to be an entrance, a section of the hull that rippled like water but maintained the rigidity of metal. As he drew closer, his suit's life support systems began displaying readings that made no sense. His oxygen levels were simultaneously depleting and replenishing. His heart rate monitor showed he was both alive and in cardiac arrest. "I'm going to take a sample," Reeves announced, producing a collection device. But as he reached toward the hull, his hand passed through what should have been solid matter, then encountered resistance from what appeared to be empty space 6 inches away from the surface. The moment his collection device made contact with whatever constituted the ship's boundary, reality around them shifted violently. The lunar landscape flickered, showing them glimpses of other worlds, a purple sky with twin suns, an ocean that reflected stars that weren't there, a city that existed inside out, with its buildings growing downward into the sky. Mitchell felt her training as a rational scientist warring with what her senses were reporting. "Control, we need to abort. The situation here is beyond our mission parameters." But even as she spoke, she realized they might not be able to leave. Their lander was visible in 3 different locations, simultaneously behind them, where they had left it, overhead in the Earth's atmosphere, and somehow inside the alien vessel, despite never having entered it. The craft began to emit a sound that they shouldn't have been able to hear in the vacuum of space. It was simultaneously a musical harmony and a mathematical equation, conveying meaning directly to their minds rather than their ears. The message was clear. They were invited inside. Dr. Reeves was the first to understand. "It's not malevolent," he said, his voice carrying a strange certainty. "It's curious. It wants to show us something. Something about the nature of reality that we're not equipped to understand with our current paradigms." Rodriguez's camera equipment had begun recording everything and nothing simultaneously, footage of events that were happening, had happened, and would never happen, all overlaid in impossible combinations that his equipment somehow processed without malfunction. As they stood at the threshold between known physics and something far stranger, Mitchell realized that their mission had fundamentally changed. They had come to the moon to conduct routine geological surveys and had instead discovered that the universe was far more malleable than humanity had ever suspected. The alien craft wasn't just defying the laws of physics, it was demonstrating that those laws were merely local suggestions, applicable only within the narrow band of reality that human consciousness could perceive. "Control," Mitchell transmitted one final time. "We're going to investigate further. If we don't return, know that we found something that changes everything. The universe isn't what we thought it was." As they approached the entrance to the vessel, space around them began to fold in ways that had no names, carrying them toward revelations that would reshape humanity's understanding of existence itself.